All right, we're good.
Yes.
You're
What's
live.
good?
What's up, dude?
What is going on? I'm trying to figure out. So I've got this little window. Where do I see you big on this screen, man?
I don't know. You want to see me? You don't want to do too big, like
Yeah, you know what? This works. What's up, LinkedIn Live?
LinkedIn Live, man, coming to you live because I know you get involved. You're one of the first people that I think I've done one of these with that also does LinkedIn Lives. I think there's a few people that will like go and mess around with it here or there, but you're one of the few guys I know that actually is doing it on a consistent basis.
Yeah. It's not bad, I mean, it's still new. The algorithms are kind of learning. It's not great, but for those salespeople tuned in, happy end of quarter, happy Monday.
It is our first. I guess this is what tomorrow's. Is tomorrow the first?
Oh yeah, baby.
You're like, oh hell yeah, it is. All right, I got to put my other screen up here so I can see questions. So, what's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining us on Monday. Like Brandon said, it is the last day of the quarter. So if you're tuning in, hopefully this better be your lunch break, or your boss is gonna be like, "What the hell are you doing? Listening to this shit? Like, you better get on the phone, start closing deals."
Yeah, it
Um,
was funny. I saw it on my calendar and I'm like, yo, Philly, if you ever schedule something last day of the quarter, I'm going to kill you. Um, but he's like, dude, no, you and Jake are impossible to get on the same calendar. And I'm like, and to be honest, if you're great at sales, you don't wait to the last day to crush it. So we're good to go.
and it's lunchtime, right? Like, you got to take a little power break, start to get like the energy back up a little bit. That's what I think, at least. And so cool. So everyone, if this is your first time joining one of my LinkedIn Lives, the format is super, super simple. I try to do these as real AMA as possible. So like I posted this morning, Brandon posted this morning. If you have questions around what's the future of sales development, I've got a bunch of questions that people had sent me as well too. What can you do getting really, really tactical to drive more like net new meetings or drive sales funnel? I want to try to make this as tactical as possible for folks. And as usual, make sure to drop your questions in the comments. So if you have a question, if you're like, man, hey, I'm working through this sucks. I'm looking at Q4. I'm ready for a fresh start. This is what happened to me. Any questions you have, sales related. Brandon and I are also CEOs. So we're sales CEOs. So we've got kind of, I think, a unique vantage point too. And then if you like what Brandon says in particular, he told me this
Stay in
ahead of
sales forever, by the way. Don't ever become a sales CEO. It's terrible.
I've tried, dude. As it scales, I need to feel like I need to be more CEO, less sales at times. They have created like Kara won't admit this, but Courtney told me about it on our social team that they created a persona for me called Sales Jake. That sometimes they're convinced that Sales Jake comes out and is like, well, what if we did it this way? And it's like it's so ingrained in your DNA, you know what I mean, that you don't even notice it. They're like, you don't even know you're doing it. I'm like, I just like go into like blackout mode. So if you like what Brandon says, hit the heart button or maybe the light bulb button. Just make sure you show him, hey, that's resonated. So when you hear anything you like, hit the like button, hit the heart button for Brandon in particular. The guy's got a big heart. And then make sure to comment your questions. So we got Joseph, Que Pasa, what's going on, man? Adam, good morning from the UK. And then I've got some questions over here too. I'm going to pull up.
And I'm sharing it on my feed too right now.
Sweet. Sweet. You can do that? You can share it on your feed too?
Yeah, dude, mobile. So if you check it, because the only way that I know how to look at the comments is via my mobile.
LinkedIn right here, yeah.
Live. Yeah. So
yeah, me too.
Going live with Jake. I'm going to share that right now, guys. So yeah, we'd love to hear from you live. I mean, what's awesome about this platform is just the one-to-one real-time engagement interaction. Like it's so awesome for us to be able to A, connect, talk strategy, but B, talk about things that the audience gives a damn about, so that you can achieve all of your income goals, dreams that you want.
All of your goals. That's what we're going to do. We're going to help you in the next 40 minutes achieve every single one of your goals, whatever your heart desires. Maybe not, but I'll do my best in 40 minutes. So here's one for you that I think's good, and I'll give you my 2 cents on it too. And again, I know you, so you'll answer this straight up. So when you think about, and I want to fast forward like next year, 2021, and I'm in sales, and you think about things like AI, and you think about technology. what are the skills that you think I should be focused on? What do you see AI doing in the future? What are the skills I shouldn't be focused on? You sell to a lot of sales organizations. We work with a lot of sales organizations, but you're kind of in the trenches with them on this. What are the skills that you think are evolving and maybe even becoming like slightly obsolete? So if you're even if you're old in the game, you've been doing it for 20 years or so, 30 years, what are the things that you think you need to really start to like hone?
Yeah. So, I think there's one skill that no one thinks about, that no one knows about, that everyone in the world should be obsessed with, and that is copywriting. So like if you think about automation, I automated list building because when I was selling for IBM and Google, it was terrible. and by doing that, I became a self-made millionaire for the second time in a row. Like the sales list building could be automated. The engagement could be automated. Hey, how many calls, how many emails, how many social touches in this campaign? But the one thing that I'm actually trying to automate that is very difficult to automate is the copywriting. Who's the persona? What are the biggest desires of the persona? What are the biggest fears of the persona? How am I going to write an opening pitch in my cold call, my sales email, my social touch that lights Jake or my prospect up like a Christmas tree to instantly book that appointment right away on the calendar? Writing the most fire elevator pitches that when that VP of sales, marketing, IT, whatever you sell, reads that elevator pitch and they're like, holy shit, Brandon helps VPs of sales at SaaS companies from 50 to 250 employees go from $5 million to $10 million in sales in 12 months or less by automating endless list building, prospecting, appointment setting, which is killing the salespeople's calendar, and why that VP of sales may get fired, lose their job, lose their life savings, family, marriage, and a house because they miss quota at that SaaS company. Copywriting so that when they read it, it felt like a whole book was written to them. And you researched and spent a year writing the book to them, and you did it in 5 minutes. Copywriting is the one skill that if salespeople can master, game over.
I love that. Yeah. So copywriting, making sure, because you're right. I mean, NLP, right, will not be there for quite some time. So the ability to do it. So how do you and let's go into this because there's some people here. And again, if y'all have questions on this topic, again, I'm sure this is something a lot of you are thinking about. I'll ask my question follow up. What are the go-tos for good copy? Meaning, what are the things that you go to? I'll give you mine, and it's pretty basic, but the shit still works from 10 years ago. It's
Ogilvy.
Job title. It's job title, right? But not bullshit job title. It's location. We found location. Like I'm working with other VPs of sales in Seattle. I'm working with other VPs of sales in, Columbus, Ohio. And then sub-industry. Not manufacturing, that I'm a VP of sales in industrial manufacturing, and then a relevant problem that I have. If you just do those 4 things, my job title, my location, relevant sub-industry, and a problem set within that sub-industry, you are doing better than 99.9% of people. And that is super, super replicable.
Yeah, no, I agree, Jake. I mean, that because the emails and the social pitches, like I get 100 LinkedIn messages a day from people trying to pitch me, and it's all garbage. Like, they try to sell me leads, and I built a list building platform, and I'm like, dude, you haven't researched one thing about me. So like literally, what if you do what Jake did, like that's the basic, and that will outperform 99% of the half-ass messages that we receive every single day. And then if you take it a step further, like really uncovering like what keeps VPs of sales up at night for Jake and I, right? Like I've got a target of 10,000, 10,000 in MRR or 100,000 in MRR or $1 million in MRR. I'm 70% to quota. There's 90 days left. My AEs keep complaining that the calendar isn't packed. My SDRs keep bitching about the sales lists not being qualified and that they can't connect with anyone, you name it. Like really drill down to understand what keeps these personas up at night.
How do you find that though? Yeah. How do you, I think look for For me, I learned on the fly. I don't know what I had no respect for authority, so that helped. To where in my first like sales jobs, I would just ask. I'd be like, okay, cool. So you're a VP of HR at a industrial manufacturing. What does that mean? I would just ask the question because I was like, I just too dumb to not know. But I feel like people don't ask the question one. But how can they go research that? How can they get inside the mind of their buyer like super tactically? Like what do your reps do? What do you see people do that works?
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So great question. Number one, when I remember I sold my mobile marketing company to a publicly traded company at the age of 22, and then my partner went to IBM Interactive, and he's like, dude, get the hell out of mobile, because this was 2008 and there was no money in it. He's like, go sell for IBM Interactive. We're selling like 7-figure websites, and I joined, and we had to sell like multi-million-dollar websites to VPs and CMOs of the Fortune 500, and I'm 22. So I'm like, I don't know anything about the VPs or CMOs of Google. Literally, like I'm pitching Google, Microsoft, Best Buy. Like these CMOs are geniuses compared to me, and they've been in the game for 20 years. So the first place that I went to was job search, like job boards. So if you look up CMO of tech companies, CMO of Fortune 500, CMO of whatever, VP of marketing, VP of IT, whatever, like the job postings will literally say, here are all your responsibilities. Here are all of your goals. Here are all your KPIs. When you don't have an audience and you're just starting off, the first place to like get in the head and the life of your persona is by checking the job boards and job postings. And I'd read 50 to 100 of those related to like, if you're selling to so I sell to SaaS companies and I sell to the VPs of sales.
Yeah.
So like I would go look up VPs of sales and business development at all the SaaS companies, like the in the employee size and space that I'm looking for. Sorry, getting blown up on my sales team at a quarter. So you literally you go after, like if I'm selling to 50 to 500 employees, VPs of sales in SaaS, I'm looking for those roles in those industries, those job postings, and I copy and paste all of them in a Google Doc. Like the best ones that you find, I put 10 to 20 to 30 in a Google Doc. And anytime before I write an email, a cold call, or a LinkedIn message or a video, I will pull up that Google Doc and I will say, who the hell is my prospect and what do they care about again? And I look through that doc and it just reminds me like, okay, this is what's keeping them up at night. This is what the CEO is holding them accountable for every single day. This is why they can't sleep. This is why they're working on the weekends. This is why they're trying to grind and hustle so hard so that they can make sure they achieve these things. So that's step one. Now, step two, if you've got a commitment of time, best thing to do is in your sales discovery, ask, John, what is holding you back from becoming limitless in X? What is keeping you up every single day? What holds you back from hanging out with your kids and wife, Jake? Every single day. Like, what's the one thing that I can eliminate? And if I eliminate it, you get more time, money, and your relationships, your marriage, your family improves. Like, what is that one thing holding you back from achieving, that work-life balance or whatever you want to achieve? And by asking those questions, like literally, if you just ask it in sales discovery when you're on the demo or on the call, and you mute yourself, you got to ask the question. Don't be scared to ask. When I was young in sales, I used to be scared shitless to ask these CMOs and these CTOs and CSOs like any of my discovery questions, because I'd be worried that I sounded like a 7-question book, like I was interviewing them. But they don't give a shit. Like they want you to have all the answers in 2 minutes, so that in those 2 minutes you can give them a 5-minute or 10-minute demo or personalized,
5 or 10 minute demo. That's a key call out there, Brandon. 5 to 10 minutes. I'm an executive. I don't need. There's a guy, Dave Govin, in New York. I stole it from him. It's like a level 1 and a level 2 demo. Level 1, look, I'm an executive. I don't care about admin features, right? I care about what's going to move in my business. And so I think too many people, though, like you even default to 5 to 10 minutes because that's what it should be. Like, I don't need to know all this shit.
Yeah, I honestly, like, I don't look at the time. I try to go as fast as humanly possible. So once I know their biggest goals, their biggest desires, and their biggest pain points and problems, it's just go to like biggest problem, biggest solution, and then sell the transformation. So you got to sell the
Yeah.
transformation. Like if you want to lose weight and I've got a weight loss pill and I'm like, if you take this pill, it will then look at all of your white blood cells, your red blood cells. It will go into your glucose. It will take down the glucose fibers and break them down from large fibers to small fibers so that at a 1 millimeter fiber level, will dramatically improve your metabolism. And then that metabolism will give you more energy and then you'll lose weight. Like, dude, all I want to know is I take this pill and I lose 10 pounds. So how do you sell it? Like problem, I'm overweight. Solution, I want to lose as much weight as humanly possible. You got to sell the transformation, that weight loss pill, that limitless pill. Don't sell the features of the glucose and the bullshit to how to get there. So like that's another big thing with the personas with SDRs and outbound prospecting. If you sell the features, you sell just sell the transformation.
That's right, man.
And get to it as quickly as possible.
Yep, that's right. You're trying to sell the outcome, not the product, right? And I think a lot of people they struggle with that. But look, I also blame sales leadership, man. I see the amount of training I remember that I got in tech sales earlier, and shit, you were at IBM. I know in IBM you guys got a shit ton of training, probably, right? Like, and
it was all like basic though. It was honestly like, this is how you present our 50 slide deck on who we are, our accolades, our awards. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, dude, like no one gives a shit about any of this. Like they want to know research, strategy, execution plan, ROI, revenue results by the end of the investment. That's the only thing they care about. They don't care that IBM Interactive was founded in X. It was built by Y. Here's our mission. Here's our vision. Here's the awards. No one gives a shit.
Or even better, like we were funded by Sequoia. Like, do you think anyone at a Fortune 500 really knows who Sequoia is? You think they care that you went to YC? Like, they don't know anything about this stuff. So I love it, man. So it's very buyer centric. There's a guy, Benjamin, in here. And again, everyone, I want to remind you, we've got a few questions in here, a few people. So drop your questions in here. My man Brandon's in here just going off on sales. I'm loving it. It's kind of nice to have someone who can like keep the energy too. Everyone else can keep the energy too, but I can just kind of just like hand it off and you go. So again, if you like what you hear, make sure to hit the heart button. That makes Brandon feel good. Hit the heart button. I like the thinking.
If you're enjoying
I like the personally, I like the light bulb. It's like, I made them think. Like that makes me feel good about myself. So I appreciate it.
And there's some good books on marketing. I saw a question. Copywriting book. Scott Dorr. So the godfather of copywriting is Ogilvy. So I went to the #1 journalism school in college. I didn't go there for that. I went there because it was the #1 party school at the time. And it also had a great business school. But Ogilvy is like the godfather of advertising. Study anything Ogilvy has written, and he passed away. And he's like, he's like Confessions of an Advertising God. He's just a genius with it. Also, there's some good books like On Positioning, Made to Stick, Contagious, The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. There's a lot of really fire. Like if you just Google copywriting books, advertising books, The Purple Cow by Seth Godin's a good one. Yep. Biology, like Why People Buy. That's another good one. So there's tons of books out there. And what's cool is they're books on like why marketers create ads. So like I got lucky because I did sales for advertisers.
Yeah.
So like I got to learn from all these marketers on how they best advertise and market. And then I would take what I learned and apply it to sales and became a 7-figure sales earner. And that's making over $1 million on your W-2 in a year by taking, by automating my list building, by taking the copywriting, and then by becoming obsessed with studying sales objections and sales scripts, and then just a massive amount of activity. That's how you become a millionaire in sales. And anyone could do it in software sales.
Yeah, well, the key is, I mean, but that's a whole other thing, which is obsession. Like I was the exact same way where like it's so interesting, dude. I naturally gravitated toward a lot of marketing books too. Like I read all of Seth Godin's book, like immediately,
He's
like
so
Purple
good.
Cow, Lynchpin, trying to think what was the one in between, All Marketers Are Liars. Trying to think like all of there's another guy, John Spolstra, who wrote a book called Selling Ice to Eskimos. I was in sports sales and he's big in sports sales. And because you're always just thinking about, I feel like if you're a salesperson and you understand how to think like a marketer, you're always reverse engineering for that other person versus what you want to get out. And you're always tweaking based on what's the right message for that person. And I feel like if you don't also study marketing books, because in copywriting, to some extent it's just trial and error. That especially, and the good part is when you're doing outbound, to his question, look, you're gonna keep a running Google sheet of what those little snippets are, that to me is, I think, a really key piece, that you don't have to become an expert overnight. Just treat it like a science experiment. And I like, for some reason, I also like chemistry. And so like, I've always been, I just form a hypothesis, I test my hypotheses, it works, it doesn't work, like readjust. What do I think didn't work? Oh, value prop sucked. Okay, boom. Now go do the next thing. I think too many people.
It takes a while too, guys. Like, exactly. We're talking about, like, don't let paralysis by analysis hold you back. Get started, do some research, execute a few campaigns, and then continue doing the research and the strategy while you're executing. So that way, because you can take a month to do the persona research, like Jake is talking about, like we're talking about here. And you could do, you and I don't have a month, right? Like, you do nothing for a month in sales activity, you're getting on a performance plan, you're probably fired. So you have to like take action quickly, start executing some campaigns with minimal research. I call it minimal MRP, the minimal, like we use the MVP, minimum viable product. And then we use MRP here at Seamless, minimum research persona. And literally that means like, what's the minimum amount of information I need to know about my persona to launch an outbound sales development campaign? So you could quickly do that research, then launch a campaign specific to it and rock and roll from there. So that way you don't let paralysis by analysis hold you back.
Cool. All right, let's see what else we got. What are the questions we got rolling in here? I think we got a few more. There's Phil. Phil dropped in some links to David Ogilvy's. Ogilvy was also like this epic leader. He did something. I just read in a book. I think it was what's his name? The guy who wrote Why. Simon Sinek. Simon Sinek's book, Leaders Eat Last, and he had some leadership stories about the guy from Ogilvy too. He was really a very like dynamic leader too, in terms of like how he built the agency. So Benjamin wanted to know like more about automating outreach. So he has persona, title, hiring, funding, location, sub-industry points are great. The big thing that I see that you're missing here, Benjamin, and that we've talked a lot about, is pain points to the persona. Like Benjamin, to me right now, if I got an email that just had my title, whatever, you need to be able to come at me, and to Brandon's point, with very specific ways that you get my world. You know what I'm going through. You understand what's happening in my world,
and the life
that you get that. And if you can't show that, then there's no meeting. Like there's a 0.0% chance that you're going to get the meeting. And I think not enough people really understand that. And that, to me, Benjamin, again, because he's trying to automate outreach. And I think that's what happens, is we want to automate outreach and we wonder why it's not working. We want to just hit send all and think there's some magic pill. And that's, unfortunately, my friends, like, the shit, I wish there was. You think I want to do this personalization? You think I want to do personalization? You think I want to do direct mail? You think I want to make cold calls? You think I want to do any of this shit? I want to do none of it. I wish to God there was some magic button that was like send all, but no, guess what? You actually have to like give a shit about your prospect, care about what they're up to, and like try to make a connection with them. So then they will give you their time.
It's the same thing too. Like Jake and I, when we woke up and we saw this meeting, this live on the calendar, we're like, damn it, I don't have time to do this, right? But we care. We know if we can deliver value to the audience and help salespeople maximize their sales success because of maybe one tip that changes your life forever, we do it. And the same goes with like the personalization, with this whole strategy of why we're live and why you guys are working so hard on your outreach. One of the things that I learned when I was selling for IBM and Google too, you never rely on one channel. Like, just kill the bullshit of email doesn't work, calling doesn't work, social selling doesn't work, video doesn't work, texting doesn't work. Whenever I hear someone say that a channel does not work, they immediately drop down in big scale on the intelligence freaking flywheel or whatever lever, like whatever scale. Anyone that says that they're like you're losing intelligence points. Like every channel works. You have to leverage it all. And like at Google and IBM, it's all about omni-channel marketing.
Right.
Like Google advertising, you're doing paid search ads, you're doing Google retargeting ads, you're doing display network ads. You're getting in front of your prospect, your visitor, everywhere they are online. The same goes in sales development. You have to be using the phone. You have to be using email. You have to be using video. You have to be using text. You have to be doing social media. You have to be content writing. Like anyone that's not content writing, I challenge you to write content. It's terrible. It sucks. At first, you'll be brutal at it, but then over time, you're going to become great at content writing, and it's going to change your life for the better. Like that's one big thing. You got to leverage omni-channel selling. All the channels out at your prospects. And if you do it in a value-driven way, how can I deliver value to the prospect? Like, what are the strategies, the trainings, the ideas, the best practices, the competitive insights, the game plans, the ROI business cases? Like, put all of that stuff together and share it with your prospects across every single channel as fast as possible.
Yeah, the thing is too, especially now with LinkedIn, it's the organic reach is just ridiculous. It's a professional network. If your buyers are here, why not spend time actually sharing? Like it's free. It's free. Just another channel. Your buyers are here. Only 1% of people are actually producing content on LinkedIn. Lots of people are coming in.
I didn't even know it was that low. 1%.
Yeah, it's like it's under 2% still. So it's so easy, my friends, to just like start to do that, because you're thinking about, if as emails and calls, you feel like it's taking longer to, a lot of people that, hey, this is taking longer than it used to. It's just what I feel like LinkedIn is like your own marketing automation plan. Like all LinkedIn is a personalized drip. And I don't know when it's going to hit you. People, Jake, what's the ROI of posting on LinkedIn? Dude, I don't know, but I do know we've closed like almost $1 million. Like I think we're at like $500, maybe $600,000 in direct DMs from LinkedIn.
It's sick.
Organic posts. We've done the math. We're getting between $100,000 and $150,000 every month in free advertising on LinkedIn by organically posting every day.
Oh yeah, dude, I get over 1 million views on video and my social content. Like I don't even know how much that would cost.
There's $50 CPMs, man. So I can tell you, $50, that's like $75,000 in free advertising. It's like $60,000, $75,000.
I'll take that all day. I'll take it all day. But you got to deliver value, right?
Free.
Yes. You got to try to deliver value to the audience, which I think is it. Same with prospecting, just like on social media. It's all about 100%. Delivering value to your core audience.
All right. So we got some questions coming in. Keith, what's up, Keith?
Yeah.
What has been more successful for you, quality copywriting or quantity pounding the phone? So for you, Brandon, what's been more successful? And again, everyone, do not forget, drop your questions in here and make sure I'm not seeing enough heart emojis for Brandon. He's going to email me after. He's going to say, Jake, what the fuck? Why was there no more heart emojis? I was very excited about these heart emojis you promised me. So make sure,
that's awesome.
Drop those.
You did a great job of that. I got to remember to tell people, hey, make sure you do all the emoji, likes, shares.
You got to, man.
Brains,
that's what's
heart.
up. You got to, man.
Because
so people are in it. Because what we've realized is that, look, they're watching us, right? We're talking.
Yeah.
And so like you're in it. And so just reminding them that like, hey, you know what? Brandon and I have you guys too. We like it. We're adding value. That's all that matters. There you go. There's some heart emojis. It's like flying off.
So what
now.
has been more successful for you, quality copywriting or quantity pounding the phone? So I'm just going to tell you straight up. So how I went from making